This is the Ashish on Sports and Political Podcast, coming to you live from Hilliard, Ohio. Game 4, over, sweep, done. And what am I seeing today? What am I hearing today? What am I looking at today? LeBron James has disqualified himself from the Michael Jordan debate. LeBron James has taken himself out of the GOAT discussion. Right? That's all you hear. That's all I'm seeing today on Twitter. And by the way, the injury thing, this is very different from the Pacquiao thing, which was, first of all, it was a freak accident. So he was essentially saying that the Warriors got lucky. Sorry, that Mayweather got lucky. And that he didn't injure himself, his sparring partner did. That was kind of the storyline here. Like, it wasn't my fault I got injured. LeBron put the onus on himself. I mean, what is he supposed to do? Not wear a cast after this series? Because obviously, the more you play on it, the more you have your bone strained. It was a severe bone contusion. More it was strained. Obviously, that would affect the next season, right? But the good thing is that it was a left hand injury, I believe. So it's not his shooting hand. So I wouldn't be worried. In terms of, like, hey, what is his effectiveness going to be next year? Sorry, it was his right hand. But again, he said that his injury was self-inflicted, and that there's no one else to blame. So, yeah, again, it's an excuse, but it's definitely an apparent injury. I don't think LeBron James, without a broken right hand, beats this Warriors team. His pain tolerance is obviously very high. He's had a right wrist injury. But no one wants to hear about this today. What everyone wants to hear about is, oh my God, LeBron James is not Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan would have never quit. Michael Jordan would have never just laid down. Michael Jordan would have never just sat and let the Warriors snatch their heart from their chest. That's what LeBron did. But what did I say 2 days ago about what would happen in this game? I had a feeling, because this is one of the weirdest, right, sporting events that I've ever witnessed in my entire life. in terms of weird sporting events, the Kobe one was weird because they told him to shoot the ball all the time. It was evident. I'm trying to think of anything football wise that would, because there are not a lot of farewell games in football. I guess I would say maybe the Tim Duncan retirement. Tim Duncan's last game was very weird because you heard about that. You heard that it would possibly maybe be his last game, but he had 5 years left in him. I mean, this is not the concept of, hey, you're old, you're tired, just stop. He had, I know he played for, 20 years? But he was athletically, and I'll give him this, he could have played another 5 years, especially with the way he played the game. He may have been taken out of the league within 5 years because of the way the NBA is played and the fact that he can't hit a three for his life. But that would just be schematically. Tim Duncan was still physically able to go. I think in his last game he scored 21 points in a playoff game against Oklahoma City. 2016 actually. So yeah, the LeBron's game last night was one of the weirdest sporting events I have ever witnessed. Because you know he's leaving. He knows he's leaving. The fans know he's leaving. Everyone on that court knows it's just a matter of when. Even if they were to win the championship, why would he stay? And it was so awkward listening to the announcers saying, Cleveland's got to do this, this, and this, and for them to do that, LeBron's got to commit long term. Like, are you kidding me? You're trying to bring up a talking point in an already terrible game that is just so stupid, because we know what's going to happen with this. LeBron's going to leave. He's not going to Boston, okay? Philadelphia, I don't know if he wants to deal with Joel Embiid. And he's Ben Simmons with the jump shot. So, I mean, there you go. Houston, Chris Paul wants a max. What in the world would James Harden, his effectiveness is not shooting the basketball. I mean, he's obviously a pretty good shooter of the basketball. Sometimes can be great. But he is not, his effectiveness, what makes him, right, the player that he is a ball dominant, control the pace, control the tempo, get by you with a dribble type of deal. So what would LeBron do there? LeBron is the best in the world at controlling tempo, controlling pace, playing good situational basketball, Chris Paul may be the second best in the world at that. If not, they're tied. Because both are friends of each other. We all know this. They are also both, they are also both they're both very intelligent basketball players. Sorry for the momentary pause there. But again, what would Chris Paul do? I mean, Chris Paul's a much more efficient player. So I would imagine he would get good looks. He's great from three. He doesn't take too many bad shots. He's one of the best mid-range scorers our game has ever seen. The game has ever seen. And LeBron, he's obviously the smartest player in terms of understanding how to find matchups, where to attack switches, controlling the pace of the game, understanding the opponent in terms of, like, for example, game one, limited possessions, late in the shot clock, good shots. He controlled the entire pace of that game. What did James Harden do? Jacked up threes with 18 seconds left on the shot clock. So, obviously we know Chris Paul can play off ball. LeBron James is the best on-ball basketball player in the world. And it's not just that he can get to the rim, but again, what the situational aspect of it is extremely important. He knows what he is, he knows what he's not, and the fact that over the last 2 years he's added a very good jump shot allows him to do a multitude of things where you can't back off, but you can't be up on him because he'll blow by you. And if you play him with a good distance so he doesn't have that space for a jump shot, but he can't really go by you, obviously he's one of the best passers in the game, but his understanding of, I'm not just going to throw up a shot here, which is what James Harden would do, let's be honest. He's great, but that's what James Harden would do. That would really help Houston. Again, what do you want James Harden to do? He's not a very efficient player. 45% field goal. He's about as good as LeBron from three, though he takes too many ill-advised threes. LeBron sometimes, when he's not on, he misses open threes. James Harden just takes stupid shots. So what is his role in that offense? The guy's not physically capable of posting up. I don't see James Harden having a post-up game. He doesn't have an understanding of pace or tempo within a half-court offense. He's not the most efficient shooter on the team. He's not the best decision maker. What is his role? So what value do you get out of paying LeBron, cutting your other pieces? At the same time, you've got three players that can all do the same thing. Now, obviously, LeBron's not as good as of a shooter as James Harden is at some points. At other points he is. And Chris Paul's a better shooter than both. They're all very good shooters, though. They can all handle the ball. They can all get to the rim. So you've got options here. But because LeBron and Chris Paul are better at, in terms of roles, right? Handling the ball than James Harden is. What is James Harden going to do in an offense? What is he going to do? Okay, because he cannot be Steph Curry. He doesn't have Steph Curry type of athleticism. He's never played like Steph Curry before. LeBron off the ball, maybe in the low post. But again, James Harden was the reason why they lost. He's also part of the reason why they're up 3-2 going into Game 6 at the Oracle. Going into Game 7 up 11 at halftime. But he's also the reason they lost both of those games. Let's not mistake that. That's why they need another piece. So if you're going to put LeBron off ball, yeah, you've got a better individual scorer to sort of make up, right, for what the deficiencies of a PJ Tucker or a Trevor Ariza bring to the table. But you're screwing with the system of shoot a bunch of threes, which got them there. 2, you're not really changing how the offense runs in the sense James Harden is still running it, except you have the best player in the world off the ball. Now you can obviously say, well, LeBron would have run the point instead of James Harden. Fair enough. But James Harden would be non-existent in an offense where he's the third best ball handler. I don't mean his ability to dribble. I mean his understanding of situation, of pace, of switches, of matchups, not being too impulsive, right? His understanding of the game. So I think there would definitely be an issue there. So what are we left with? We are left with, my friends, the LA Lakers. You know, the Lakers were my favorite team to watch before I started following an individual player, because those are that's more fun to do than actually watch a team. Okay. The thing with LA is that you've got, obviously, you're in the movie capital of the world, business empires everywhere. Trust me. I've been to, like the Stanford area. I went there for like 2 days. It is different from everything else in the world. It is absolutely different than anything else in the world. New York, Massachusetts, yeah, they're different from the rest of the country in terms of their busy and their historical and all of these different things. But LA, California, it is different. You've got tech companies everywhere. You got people on bikes. You've got people you've got all these different restaurants, all these different shops. It is just culturally different, from the weather to the people there to how they travel to how they dress to how they eat. The food there is incredible, but it's very different from everything else. Every single thing is different from the rest of the world. So LA would be the perfect fit for LeBron. Because LeBron has been different for 15 years than anyone else on the planet. So he deserves a place like LA. Forget about the business. Forget about the outside ventures. Dude, LA is just... Now, obviously, I was in San Diego. But California, good parts of California, not the homeless, debt-ridden, gang violence. And I'll get to this in a later podcast, not today. I'll get to this on the political side. But either way, right? Good California is better than everything else in the entire world. So LeBron deserves to go there because he is better than everything else in terms of the basketball world, right? In the entire basketball world. Let me say this. I think obviously LA is a great breeding ground for basketball talent. I mean, you've got Chino Hills. There's I know there are other great basketball high schools. But again, it's just okay. Mater Dei, obviously. Chino Hills. Chino Hills is big time. Mater Dei has had some big recruits as well. Okay, I don't recognize any of these other high schools, but Chino Hills, Mater Dei, these are in the heart of LA high schools. Talking about 5-star kids, where do you want to develop your sons? Certainly one of the top prospects, the first one, LA, where you've got time to be involved. No one understands this. In LA, you actually have time because of the 3-hour delay. The 3-hour backload compared to the U.S. compared to the Eastern time. So when you wake up early, you're not actually tired. And usually, and it was like this for me, if you're gonna stay up late because of the way the weather is in California and the fact that they have like no winter. You don't feel tired as well. So you have a lot of prime time to do things and to explore and to be a part of your kids' lives. Which is what ultimately I believe LeBron would want. Now I think he'll go back to Cleveland. I think he'll move back there after Bronny gets out of high school. Or if the Cavs have a stud in a draft pick. But he's out. Okay? No one wants to deal with that. The dysfunction that is Cleveland. My original point though, I'll get to this. Michael Jordan versus LeBron James now cannot be a debate because the Cavs instead of winning in 5, lost in 4. What did I tell you would happen? This would be one of the worst games that we would remember outside of the Dallas series. Here's why we don't remember Boston in Game 1. They tried to attack the matchups. They did things schematically. Game 1, bad. Game 5, LeBron was not great, but he didn't lack want. He didn't lack aggression. He wasn't aggressive enough. You can definitely say that, but he did not lack aggression. That might be the absolute worst game I've seen him play. And he put up good numbers, that's the thing. He scored 24 points, probably had 10 plus assists. Had, I believe, let me check his stats. But either way, it is one of the worst games I've seen him play because he quit. He quit. And what did I say? What happened? What did I say was going to happen? LeBron James would quit. Does this make him better than Michael Jordan? No, definitely not. Does it make him worse than Michael Jordan? I really don't like to talk about the GOAT discussion. I really don't. But if we're going to talk about something, okay, if we are really going to talk about something, man, we have got to disqualify this from disqualifying LeBron. From the best player ever debate. It is absolutely ridiculous. Just ridiculous to the bone. That we're taking this game and putting it as the reason why LeBron is not Michael Jordan. Give me the Dallas series. Fine. Give me the Game 5 against Boston, though that's one game. I'm pretty sure Michael Jordan had one game bad. One bad game. Actually, don't give me that. But give me the Dallas series. Alright? I will accept that. I will accept it with with no discussion, no debate. Don't give me this game. Okay, what did I say? The Cavaliers were shot in the heart in game 1. They were shot in the heart in game 3. You got a group of guys that know the inevitable. That are just waiting for it to happen. LeBron James has played the final game of his career in his hometown, of course. Not the final game of his actual career. Hopefully not. But man, I mean, my God. We are at the point, okay? We are at the point in LeBron's career where a game 4 that it wasn't him that came out flat. They just missed shots. They just absolutely missed shots. Now, he didn't try to score the ball. He tried to make the right basketball play. Right? That's what he shouldn't have done, perhaps. He should have been more aggressive. But either way, you have seriously, man, it's just, when they go on a run, it's deflating. But when they go on a run that feels like, look, our season is over. Everyone knew it was over. This is now going to define LeBron's legacy for some reason. But everyone knew it was over. Kevin Durant had nothing to do with that. Steph Curry did. Steph Curry got fouled on an awkward, weird, just jack it up shot and made it. That first quarter shot set the tone. Okay, the entire team was deflated. And when they started to pour it on, and it wasn't LeBron's fault because J.R. Smith was getting smoked trying to guard Klay Thompson and Steph Curry. When they started scoring 10 in a row, and you've got just missing shots after missing shots, no fight, no desire. This is your last game playing for your hometown team. You've given it your all. You probably should be up 2-1 in this series. Instead, you're down 3-0, getting blown out. Your legacy moment was taken away from you. Now what defines your legacy is going to be this game. LeBron James must have felt sick to his stomach. And what did I say would happen? The emotion, the inevitability, the moment. Golden State had no pressure. Cleveland had all the pressure. LeBron was supposed to carry them back. He'd done it 3 times. 4 was too much to ask. And the Warriors playing with no pressure, Steph caught on fire. They went on a run early and late in the game, so he sat down. What did I say would happen? This is going to disqualify him in the eyes of many from the Michael Jordan debate. But this was predictable. This was predictable because this is how humans react. This is how they react to inevitability. Oh, you know what? Let it happen. I can't do anything. Let it take me. Michael Jordan may have competed more, but he wouldn't have won the game. So this idea that LeBron gets criticized for losing a game that he would have lost even had he tried, and Michael Jordan would have taken this game and taken it over and somehow won, is ridiculous. And this idea that you have to compete harder when you know something is inevitable. The tunnel vision of Michael Jordan may have, I'll say this. He may have been great, but he also, because of his tunnel vision, may have reacted to the situation as a highly inefficient player who kind of added on to the embarrassment. This is the Ashish and Ryan sports and political podcast. NBA Finals are over, World Cup in a week. Very fun. Very, very fun. We'll be back after this with more LeBron stuff. That's all anyone's talking about at this point. But this is the Ashish and Ryan sports and political podcast. Coming to you live from Hilliard, Ohio.